It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome.
Always
You're
been
listening to
bucked
up.
Bucked
Oh,
Up.
Every
with
time I
Sam
talk
Buck.
to you, you're like, keep it a buck,
Yeah,
and I'm
keep
like,
it a buck.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
you
bucked
fucked
up,
up.
and you keep saying keep it a buck, but we're keeping it a
I
buck.
feel like the slow-
Exactly, we're keeping it a buck on bucked
Okay,
up.
I like that.
Now you fucked up. 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 Now you have fucked up.
Welcome, Casey Durkin, to Bucked Up. We are sponsored by Truly, because that's why we're starting a little late. No, but welcome.
What's up? Thank
This
you.
Is a great time to see you. I hadn't seen you over all of quarantine.
I know. I've been inside for 3 months. This is like my first time being around people.
Oh, really?
Like, I
You've just
forgot
been-
all social skills. Like, I feel really awkward.
Forget how to talk. I know. I spilled water all down my chest on the last podcast.
I know. I forgot how to be
Exactly.
social.
Welcome.
Thank you so much
How-
for
what
having
have-
me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. What have you been? How have you been keeping sane during quarantine?
Well, I started off really strong. I have a home gym, so I was working out, doing a lot of lifting, heavy weights, and then I got an injury. And my
What'd
back.
you injure?
I was doing like a huge deadlift with like I had up to 75 pounds. I was ripped, and then it slipped. You know when you put it back in, and it slipped, and I
Oh.
went to it was like a natural reaction, and I went to catch it. So I was in bed for like 3 weeks, like the worst pain. So
No.
and then I stayed in bed another 3 weeks because I got used to being in bed.
Just watching everything.
I've watched everything on Netflix, everything.
Are you able to get out and do stuff again?
Yeah, now I'm back in the game.
Now
Yeah,
you're-
it's been a couple weeks and back.
Do
So
you have a workout routine? Do you?
yeah, I like to wake up and do a little run, and then I've been really into yoga too. But it's pretty much just
I'm a
dead
runner
weights
and a
lifting.
yogi too. I do it
Yeah.
every single day.
Me too. I actually just started like a whole new routine doing it at
Do you
home.
do YouTube videos or?
I'm working with a yoga instructor. Her name is Nikki Strosky. Shout out Nikki. She's one of the best. And
Oh,
she
yeah?
does it via Zoom because before it was going to yoga class,
Mhm.
spending a half hour to an hour, going back and forth. And it's like you could just do it at home. So if there's anything quarantine taught me, is like we don't need to do so much.
No, that's my gym was closed, and I usually was running on the treadmill because
okay.
I'm a big guy, so running was hard. But now I'm doing it outside when my gym closed, and I'm doing yoga with Sarah Beth on YouTube.
Okay.
She's really good, and I do a video every day of her,
Nice.
and I meditate, and that's kind of
Me too. I started getting into a meditation.
yeah. I use
routine.
Headspace as my app.
Okay.
It's a really good app.
Awesome. No, I've heard of that before. I do it with this kind of like a spiritual leader via Zoom. They kind of teach you how to go through the
I
motions.
have a
and then-
meditation guru. He also sold me crystals that healed my calf.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm a real basic white girl. I got a fat ass and everything.
Crystals. I charge my I charge my crystals during full moons. I think they're really beneficial.
Yeah, I actually am going to have Paul Zoino on, who's a specialist in all crystals and
Oh,
energy,
cool.
and I'm gonna have him on the podcast in a couple weeks.
Awesome. He's like a healer.
Yeah,
Nice.
He also sells me Bibles.
Oh, code word. You know what that means? Let me look at the list of what the codes are.
Everybody love everybody.
Sells you Bible pusher.
Yeah, exactly. No, but he that's
pusher.
I got into that. They're not I don't really know a lot about crystals, but they're these cards, these power cards, and
Okay.
nothing had helped. I had hurt my calf real bad.
Mhm.
And I couldn't run. I had done yoga. I had worn sleeves. I had done all that.
wow.
And he had given me these power cards, and I put it on my calf in the sleeve, and it was the only thing that healed it. It was
Really?
yeah.
What is it, like magnetic or something?
Yeah, it's like a negative ion
Oh,
charger,
okay.
yeah, or whatever.
People with arthritis use those kind of things. Like
Mhm.
those are those bracelets.
And
you
I gave
see.
it to my mom too, and it helped her because she has bad knees.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Now that I've been in bed for like a month with an injury, thanks for telling me now, Sam.
Have you, I know I should have gotten you on the podcast sooner. Did you keep like like writing at all when you were hurt, or no? Did you
no,
kind of?
I did do some writing, and then the world started changing. So
Mm-hmm.
everything that I had written and anything that I was doing before is not relevant, or it seems disingenuous to be talking about some of this stuff.
When I
It's
do
like,
stand-up
or I'll
and
be
I-
canceled
yeah.
right away for talking about. Like I had some Killer Kobe jokes. Can't tell those anymore, but stuff like that I don't know if it's gonna be relevant. So I kind of
Yeah.
took a break to kind of feel out the world, and now I'm back into writing. I'm doing a show next week. So
Oh,
How about
what's your
you?
show?
It's a show in Rhode Island. This comedian Marvin. It's going to be called. I should have known that before I started plugging it.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'll let you know at the end. I'll look at my phone.
Of course, we'll do plugs at the end.
We'll do
That's all
plugs.
right. I've gone back to do stand up. I've been able to be on stage. Tonight is going to be my 7th or 8th time back on stage, which is real nice.
Were you scared at first, like with the COVID, or did you?
I try to take care of my immune system as much as I can, and I do have a pretty healthy immune system. I take my vitamins. I work out every day. I try to keep safe with hand sanitizer and taking showers and stuff. But I'm not like, if I'm gonna catch it at the supermarket, I'm gonna catch it at an open mic. I feel like. That's kind of, you know what I mean?
I can do stand up.
But that's kind of how I feel about it. And if I feel like if I take care of my immune system, hopefully I'll be okay. I just want to be on stage. But I have written some new jokes, but my old jokes, I don't feel good doing them.
Right,
like
I
when
don't either.
I do my old jokes, I just am like, it's so different.
So
like,
different about dating. Like, how can that be relevant now? You can't even go out in public.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of this stuff is not relevant.
Do you feel like your writing's getting better post-quarantine, or is it?
Well, I have been meditating, so I feel like the clarity is there, and I've been working a little bit more storytelling, because a lot of my stuff is more one-liners, and so I want to get, kind of stream it with the storytelling, so it gave me a moment to kind of think of my whole life, which is kind of scary.
And you're a spiritual person. You're talking about your meditation guru and your yoga guru and your So do you use spirituality to help? Do you think it helps you with your success, or is it a way to deal with your kind of inner thoughts?
I think it's only been something I've been rigorously practicing recently, ever since COVID. Like before, I kind of dabble in meditation, but that's not going to give you the benefits. You got to really do it all the time.
Exactly.
So I've been remembering a lot of stuff I've been writing about, because it gives you that clarity and that silence in your head where when you come out of it, there's like so much creative energy. And there's one practice that is just for one of the guys I work with. He's a big DJ. I don't work with. He just has like a Zoom thing that like you can watch. And so he's a performer. So he has like a special meditation that he takes you to help your creative energy.
Oh,
there's all
nice.
different ones that can kind of cater to you and what you're trying to do. And there's another woman I'm working with right now, and she teaches you chanting like old school, like super old school, like the Native Americans.
The chanting,
you know how they would do this? Like
exactly.
Kind of, but
like
that's not.
I used to do that. I was talking about pre-podcast that I studied theater, and in theater we would have specialists come in, like in classes. We'd have specialists come in to teach us about chanting.
Oh, awesome!
And,
so you know about it.
Yes, I do, and that's kind of how I didn't really take it as seriously when it was in class, I feel like, but now that I'm getting more spiritual, I feel like as a way to balance myself, because I feel like I get really like anxious and get intense really quick.
Too.
So the meditation helps me with that.
Definitely, especially before. I wish I knew or was practicing it more often when we were actually doing stand-up, because you get those nerves, and then you're like, let me just get a shot of whiskey and kill it, and fuck, I forgot everything, or why did I forget that punchline? And then so I know that going back into stand-up, I'll be meditating before and doing my yoga. I was doing a little bit before, the last year. I've been doing stand-up since last September. And then I would kind of get into drinking before. It doesn't work. It kills the nerves, yes, but then you forget it.
I've been trying to stop drinking as much. I've had one drink every other week or once a week, and I never really enjoy it as much anymore. It's kind of like once you get out of it, you have to like get yourself back into it.
Right.
And I'm not really wanting to do that right now.
No.
It'll come when it comes. It'll probably once I bomb enough on stage, I'll get back into drinking. So
I know I'm not doing anything. Like I'm just being sober-ish.
Yeah. You said you were writing stories that you were remembering.
Yeah.
You as a comedian, you're very observational, but they're about personal topics. You don't do as many stories.
No, I don't.
But do you feel like coming back you're going to be telling more stories?
I think so, because I'm remembering a lot more stuff, and I think it's a good way to stream. And I have a pretty colorful life, and I've experienced a lot of things. And
colorful outfit, colorful life.
Colorful life. I just feel like I was a little more. Maybe I was hesitant because I don't want to tell people too much. Maybe it's something I haven't dealt with, but isn't that what comedy is? When you get to the raw truth. truth, and you can't hide behind anything. So I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with telling the story because there's a mantra at the end of it. There's a lesson to be learned from it.
Exactly.
And as long as you're further away from it, like I'm not going on getting fucked up now. But people will take you seriously if you come from a place of not getting fucked up with stories from before. They'll want to work with you rather than like telling it as in real time.
This
like
is
I just did this 8-ball out yesterday. It's not as good as maybe there's a lesson involved. You know.
This is a
what not to do.
Motherfucking self-help podcast.
And I would say a segue, if I ever heard one, to an intro to Casey. Did you wanna play the clip that we have?
Let's wait.
Okay.
We'll wait a little bit. We'll wait a little bit.
Continued.
We'll wait a
To be
little bit
continued.
because I just have to segue something that's not self-help related, and then I'll get back into it. I love Griselda. They're my favorite rappers. I think they have such a unique style and sound.
I do too.
And when you said you knew them, I couldn't believe it because no one that I know wears them.
My friend just put me onto them recently, and they're so amazing. Like the way they tell the stories, and they're older too. Which a lot of these cats coming up now, they're really young. Like, what do you know when you're 20 years old? These guys are older, like 35 years old,
and they're
they got
great
skin
storytellers.
In the game. Exactly.
And it's like a good comedian. They're so slow, and they're rappers who rap really fast. Great, but they're so slow that you really know that they're rapping about stories because you can tell it's real. And it's
That's
the
a
same
good point.
way.
It can slow you down even on stage. Like,
with stand-up, I can tell that stand-up is good when they're slow. Like I step on my punchline so much. Me
too. I'm like
exactly.
a stuttering prick.
But you've always been you're an EDM person, but you're
I'm
a
an old school raver.
Rap fan too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You said earlier in the podcast that you were at P. Diddy music videos.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's how I got my start. Really was back in the day. I had a boyfriend, this really cool Cuban cat, and he was in a certain line of business we're not going to mention, and we would go to music videos.
He was a good pool player.
Yeah, he was a good. What's the code words up here?
Well, you can just say he's a pool player.
He's a pool
He's a good Christian boy.
Good Christian.
He sells Bibles.
Yeah, the different ones.
And we would go to different music video sets because he was friends with some directors, and we would smoke down a couple, some of the artists, and it was really fun because I was like his road dog. I would go to all these music videos. This guy, this director Benny Boom, shout out Benny Boom. He would do Puff Daddy, 50 Cent.
Oh, really?
I met Snoop Dogg, so I would go and hang out, and then when it was really cool. It was so cool to see too. And this was the height, like in the 2000s. And one time he needed a white schoolgirl for an exhibit video, and he asked my boyfriend. He was like, "Do you think your girlfriend will be in this scene?" I kind of needed it. It was when he was shooting. He was like, "I think I need a schoolgirl right here. Can you put this outfit on?" I had sent his assistant to go get a schoolgirl outfit, and so like that, I just did my first music video, and I loved it.
For Exhibit?
Yeah, for Exhibit. That was my first.
What song was it?
It was Hey Now.
Can you pull up Hey Now by
you can
Exhibit?
see the clip. I think it's on. We'll see the reel. So this is my first music video.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was on. Like then I started doing a lot more music videos.
Oh, who else were you doing music videos for?
I did Snoop Dogg. I did Keisha Cole. I did Christina Aguilera, Mariah Carey. I was like one of the first white video hosts.
That's amazing.
It was amazing, man. I did, but my favorite.
So you made it to Vegas. Give us the chicks. Give us the parties. This is the fast lane, baby.
This is when you were hosting for Maxim?
Yeah, I did. I hosted their red carpet shows
for one of the hottest pool parties in Vegas, Bear, at the Mirage. But there's one problem.
It was so fun. We go to Vegas, interview party people. Like, it was so fun.
How did that come through the music videos?
No, this was separate. Actually, I met one of the producers for Maxim. Lives in my apartment, and we used to come home, and it was kind of like a frat house. Like, we would hang out in each other's rooms, like they're all studios. We would smoke each other out, drink beer. So I got that through him because he saw me wasted, and he was like, "You'd be cool with camera," and I was like, "All right." And so I did it, and he ended up pitching it to Maxim, and then I was the red carpet host, and my first interview was with Mark Wahlberg, and I bombed it.
You bombed with Mark Wahlberg.
It was my first interview. Like, you have to know so many technical things, like. These hosts go to schools, they learn how to look at the camera. I was looking at the camera while I was talking the whole time, like, Mark, so where did you get it was just like technically bad, but it was really cool.
That's like I did Kill Tony in the main room of the Comedy Store with Steve-O, and I just bombed. And they all, and it was like, not that though, it was just kind of like, ugh.
Was it because you were new and green? Or
Yeah, it was the second time I ever did
come on.
comedy.
You can't be hard on yourself. Did you live in LA?
No, I just went out there for a week by myself, actually.
cool.
And the comedy store is 21 plus, and I was under 21 when I went out there. So
you started
my
really
mom bought me a fake ID.
Yes!
Yeah, so I could go out there and perform
Coolest
at
mom ever.
Yeah,
so I could
shout out,
perform
Mom.
at the comedy store.
Oh, no way. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so I was able to
You sound
perform
like you
with
have
the
cool
fake
parents.
ID. And Tom Arnold was on stage,
No
and I was
shit.
there.
Talk about nerves, right?
And I was in the audience at this point. This was when I was just watching one of the shows. And he looks at me and he goes, "You're 21?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, sure you are." And then he goes back to doing stand-up. And
That's
then
a
it
tough
was
act
the
to
only
follow.
time I got called out for being underage at the Comedy Store was when Tom Arnold called me out.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So you were just living?
snitching.
No snitch. I didn't mean.
Yeah, no.
Tom Arnold
We're
snitched on me.
Everybody love everybody!
So you were doing these music videos.
Yes, that's how I started. Was in music videos, and then that's the thing about when you're in Hollywood. I moved to LA to go to fashion school. I never moved in LA to do any of this, so I went to design school. Then I went to FITM, and so I was with this guy at the time. So that's how I kind of got a taste of it. And I
The
was like,
Bible pusher.
The Bible pusher. And so then I was like, I want to do this more. And that's the thing about when you start getting into Hollywood, it's never enough. It's like an insatiable beast. Like I want to do this next show or this. It's you're always chasing that next part. And then you're spending all these days riding around your car through auditions, wardrobe changes, you're reading straight. It's such a waste of time for the hundreds of auditions you go to and you get that one part. So my heart was like never always in it. I was designing too. So, but that's how I started. And then, that's how I started.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I want to go to LA to, do
Right, but
movies.
once you got into it, you realized that it wasn't something you wanted to
Sam,
do. Yeah.
no.
In fact, was fashion your passion?
My mom says that when she's talking. Fashion really is her passion. I'm like, Mom, it's so corny. Don't say
You're
that.
gonna get a tattoo. Fashion is my
so
passion.
Corny. But yeah, that's my passion, and I've been doing that, since I was a kid.
And you went to school for it?
Yeah, I went to design school. I've worked for a couple designers. And
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm working on my own jewelry line right now called Gold Blooded, and
Oh,
it's all
that's
like
cool.
kind of like chains, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you would love it. Like I'm doing a pinky ring line. But it's been a long time making because I'm doing other things too. You know that old quote, if you're the jack of all trade is a master of none.
Yeah, you
It's
do.
so true, man.
You do so much. Do you feel like you spread yourself
Too
too
much,
thin?
man. It's like a laser. If you have a laser honed in on one thing, it pierces through the paper or something.
You were in a movie?
Yeah.
You were in a movie Freerunner. I was watching the clips that you were in last night.
Oh my God. That movie, I read the script and I thought it was gonna be this like little indie movie. And
Was it your first movie?
No, my first one was I played a hoe and Snoop was my pimp in this movie called Bossin' Up. I was like this white hoe. He pimped me out. It's called Bossin' Up. Shout out Snoop Dogg. And Don Juan the pimp was like.
Did you get that from being in his music videos?
Yeah,
so that's how you got into acting.
Yes, exactly. And so that was way back in the day. So that was my first movie. I played a hoe. I'm actually like a prostitute. It's amazing. It was pretty amazing.
At least Snoop Dogg was your pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'm
can't
gonna
ask
be
for a
pimp.
If
better
it was like,
godfather.
yeah.
I couldn't ask for a better pimp. I started in the pimp game.
You don't want to have a
Sam.
no-name pimp.
Right.
Nickel and dime ass pimp. Gonna start from the top, baby.
Right.
So then you thought Freerunner was going to be...
Oh, so I got the script. My manager sent it to me, and he was like, "It is topless." And I was like, but he's like, "It'd be really great to get this piece for your hosting reel," because I was trying to do more hosting after this time because they.
Because you can definitely put topless clips on YouTube.
Well, no, there's 2 minutes of topless, but the rest was like me superimposed on this ESPN kind of stage. to
Yeah,
host-
that's the one that's what I watched on YouTube.
Yeah,
was you
yeah.
explaining the...
Right, I'm like the host of this death game. So he said to just do this movie to get the clips for my hosting reel to get hosting jobs. Well, what happened was I did the movie and it was not an indie. There's like a obscure little parkour underground cult scene. I don't know if you know of in Europe. And so it became like a cult movie and it was on demand. And I was like, no, it's the topless movie. And then one night my parents like, we're toasting popcorn. We're going to watch your big movie and on demand. And I failed to mention I was topless because I didn't think they'd see it. And it was on demand. And my sister was in high school at the time. She was like, yeah, we watched the movie and Dad lost it because I didn't tell them it was topless.
And did that affect
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't, because I thought no one was going to see it, right? It was just going to be this little, I don't know why I thought that, but it just, in my head, I was just trying to listen
You're
to my
a big
manager.
star.
Yeah, right. So, well, actually, it even affects me today because that little topless clip, this was 2011, I think, and it was when the internet still is the Wild West. Anything can go up. It is the Wild West. I wish I knew that then, because then that little topless clip gets on all these creepy porn sites, and they use that as clickbait, and they're like, see Casey Durkin in a gangbang, and all these creepy things, and people will look it up and think I'm in a gangbang, but you got to pay $20 to join the porn site, so no one ever does. They're like, just, oh, you're in a gangbang, and so when you Google me, all this shit comes up about porn, and I'm not a porn star, and I keep up saying
All
that.
publicity is not good
no,
publicity.
it is not true, and there's no laws to protect me. I had to hire a lawyer for a cease and desist.
Oh,
to
really?
get all these clips down, and it was just from that one topless scene. And they do this
From
a
a
lot
movie, like
from not a porn. It was
exactly from like a real movie that
just from
was
a
big
real
in Europe.
movie. So then I found this out. I get a job interview. I went to a job interview.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was for fashion, and they were like, "We really love you. You're a great candidate. However, and there's no judgment. You're that type of work you did before doesn't align with our company values." And
you didn't get the job?
No, I didn't. I was like, no, but I'm not a porn star. It's clickbait. Like, no. I'm not in a gangbang. Like, I swear
That's
it's not me. I know. But
Damn.
from that topless movie. So I have to just get another person to do it. It's just a constant kind of thing that I have to work at to get it offline.
You're still dealing with it.
Yeah.
now. That's it. Does that affect, and like it affects your business now? But I don't know. Do you feel like
it doesn't though? I think it's funny. I think I get it. Anyone that knows me know I'm not on the interracial gaming online.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I thought it was funny, kind of, and then it's like actually, it's kind of not. Like if I have kids, might not be cool.
If anything, it feeds your comedy, though.
Yeah, this goes back to my original.
So there's only left to two.
My original point, though, you have all these crazy stories. Why you don't? Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
You have all these amazing stories. You get that? No, but you don't talk about it a lot on stage.
No.
Do you feel like this spirituality has opened you up and allowed you to? I feel like this is now a spirituality podcast.
Yes, you're not watching Joe Rogan.
Exactly. But do you feel like you said it helps your storytelling? Do you feel like you're
Definitely.
going to be able to be more open on stage?
I think so.
Back?
I think it's helped, and also getting my parents' blessing. They know. Sometimes I think they don't know how crazy I've been or wild because they're pretty they're proper. Old school Boston people, really, shout out my parents.
Shout out the Durkin.
Yeah. And so I've always been a little hesitant because I don't want to.
I come from a very proper family.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know why I bowed when I did it. They're not Asian.
Are you an aristocrat? So it just made me kind of hesitant, but I've recently got my parents' blessing, and they know me. They know that if I can use this as to use satire as a way to express what you've been through in life and use it to transmute different kinds of pain you've been through, then that's what comedy is, right?
Exactly.
And they know that, but I'm still scared. But I tell you I did meth. Nope. They're gonna learn.
Why did you do meth?
Oh.
You can't just drop that in.
I'm not a meth head, I swear. Actually, I did it by accident. It goes way back. I got scouted by.
The police heard it. They're coming.
I know. Now I'm paranoid. I was 19 years old, and I was in LA, and an agent for Elite Models came up to me and gave me her card. And she was like, "I really like to represent you, but you got to lose 3 pounds, and then call me when you lose 3 pounds." So I was like, "Okay." So
3 pounds.
3 pounds, because I'm 5'8". I'm not as tall as a lot of a model height, but if you have to be
so
really.
crazy. I don't know anything about when you're 3 pounds and when you're I'm not as tall as model. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, you gotta be back. Curves weren't cool back then. It was around 2005. Curves were not it, So basically, I had to lose 3 pounds because if you're not tall, you gotta be real thin. Kate Moss is 5'7". She's super thin. Because she's not super tall. So.
I don't know that, but I'm saying yeah. I don't know Kate Moss's dimensions.
Because you're not gay. Not a
we're getting canceled.
Everybody love everybody!
Oh my God, can we edit that?
Yeah, I'll bleep it.
Okay.
All right, so they telling you to lose.
Oh, so what did I do? Did I get a gym membership? Did I, go for a run? No, I got 3 8 balls and thought I would lose it the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way, 3 8-balls.
And then my dealer, actually, he gave me meth. I think it was by accident. He gave me like it was ice, right? And I
don't know any of these things.
Ice is like it's super meth, and I thought it was coke. I really don't think he ever meant to give it to me.
Yeah.
And so then I was up for a week, and I was going crazy. But I was getting there. I was losing the weight.
You had lost 2 pounds at that point.
Yeah, it was like actually I lost about 10. I went a little over, and then I was going to fashion school at the time. And I OD'd on campus. I don't remember it. I just know the ambulance came, took me off of campus because I was, I probably stayed up for a week. I was super skinny. But I was, getting that contract. And I was staying up all night doing my fashion projects. So then I don't really remember what happened. I know I OD'd on campus. And then they took me away on an ambulance. And I got suspended from school. And I woke up in a hospital in downtown LA. And my mom came out. And then I had to go back to Boston. And I went to rehab. And then I never got the contract because then I got suspended from school and I had to leave LA for like a year and I had to get back in and I just focused on finishing my degree at that point.
How long did it take you to bounce back after that? Because I feel like that's a pretty, not to speak for you, but that's a pretty low place. Did it take you, were you in a dark place mentally?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not a drug addict, so it wasn't like I was feeding for drugs. I just went a little too far on that and I lost everything. I embarrassed my parents. I got kicked out of school.
Yeah, but how long did it take you to kind of bounce back?
It took me like it was about I had to go to rehab for like 6 months, and then I stayed here, and I moved back to LA, and I wrote back to I had to go through a meeting with the school advisors to get back into school. They let me finish my degree, and then I entered the Miss Los Angeles pageant because I was trying to be sober. And I thought it was a good goal, and you
get to be Miss Los Angeles.
Yeah, and I won, which
wow, congratulations!
Thanks. But I only did it to like stay because out of rehab, I needed to focus.
But you did it. You
I
stick to your goals.
Thanks. Yeah. Because you got to work out every day. There's a swimsuit competition, so I thought it was a really good positive thing for me to be involved in. Mm-hmm. And so I won Miss Los Angeles, and I went to Miss California, where I fucked it all up again.
How'd you fuck up Miss California?
Well, I was sober. Like I wasn't doing any drugs, but I figured what's the thing that gets you like stage fright? What's the worst thing? Stage fright when you're on. That makes you nervous, right?
Yeah, I get it every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So that I was good at everything else. Like I was Miss LA. I was going in there. So the only thing that got me was a stage fright. So what do you do to combat that? Xanax. Right? That's what I was thinking. So I snuck all these Xanax bars in my vitamins. And
I'm doing it with vitamins, so it's healthy.
So it's a shortcut again. How you can't take shortcuts in life. You can't do drugs to get skinny. And you just got to deal with stage fright, But I thought I beat the system in Miss California because I took Xanax there, and it killed the stage fright, but it also made me fall asleep.
And just dozing off?
Well, I was just really tired. We had like a lot of dance rehearsals. It was 3 days, and everyone's losing weight because of the stress and everything.
Yeah.
So the day of the show, I had the highest points going into the top 5, and it was time to take the questions out of the bowl. And this is going to Miss California. You win Miss California, then you go to Miss USA. It's Miss Universe. Like
You were on the track.
I was on track. I was top 5. Then the first girl that picks the question out of the fishbowl, it was so basic. It was like, what would you do to, what's your favorite color? It was so basic. It was so easy. So then the other girl that ended up being the last one of the top 5. And then my question was, what would you do to change the educational system of America?
Oh, jeez.
And I heard that. I mean, come on. After those, like, girls got the
what's
best
your favorite
one.
color?
Come on. And I heard the crowd go, oh. Like, they were mad I got that question because I had the highest points going into the top 5. Oh. And so it wasn't just a question. I answered, and I still believe this. I said, well, it has everything to do with the parents. The teachers can only do so much. I think the parents have to instill discipline and education when they get home. But the way it came out was, well, I think it has everything to do with the parents, and there's only so much that teachers can do. Peace. And like the wheels came off, Sam. And so then they named the winner. I was 4th runner-up, which means you fucked up the worst. When you're 4th runner-up, means you fucked up the question because it's all about the final question.
But you got the hardest question.
Right, but it's like,
was this
so gut-wrenching?
So the agency told you to lose 3 pounds, and like you were stressed out, and you said all these girls are losing weight for the pageant. I know 2 separate things, but that's something in the community that's like pushed upon you? You can't even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that something that you were dealing with? Did you feel stressed to like?
Oh, you know what? I think it was just the people in the crowd. Like it's that I think it's the pressure of the final question. That's really. You can be really good in gowns and bikinis, but it all comes down to that final question. You can't plan it. You can be up on all current events. There's even I had a pageant coach, and she even had a book of like potential final questions, and she would go back. We would do it like the debate team. Like I was trained for this, and then because I took a Xanny bar,
you took the shortcut.
I took the shortcut, so shortcuts never work.
Yeah, but you are really confident on stage when you do stand-up. You're a very confident performer.
Thank you,
do you still feel stage fright, or have you kind of
all the time? Yeah, and I think that yoga. I did a couple shows before COVID on yoga.
Stand-up yoga.
When I did it on yoga, I meant like I did yoga before, and I just felt such a difference. I felt really centered. I think you're always gonna have stage fright, or at least I will.
I do too.
You don't seem like it. You are so chill and laid back.
That's
Every time I see you, you're super funny, super chill. You got a laid back look too. It makes you really likable.
Oh, I appreciate that. I never feel it. Even when I do this podcast, I'm just a nervous person.
No, you're not, dude.
I try to like push it down and hide it.
No, I don't get that vibe at all. I just don't. I think you're super laid back and cool. So I want to be like you on the stage. I see you as having that vibe.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And I feel I'm like I'm still a little bit like
I feel like it's we switch places because I feel the same way.
Really? Well, you hide it, man.
When I first saw you, you speak your mind on stage. I don't know how to put it without it. It's a good thing. I appreciate that you don't give a fuck what jokes you tell, and it seems like you've kind of lived your life that way. Of you want to do what you want to do.
Definitely. I mean, I have a different perspective. Like I think the Me Too whole thing is so super whack. Like I've lived out there. It's like these girls know what they're doing. They're going to a hotel room like Harvey Weinstein, a married man. They know what they're getting into. So I'm not a feminist. I'm not talking about that. No,
because you've lived that life.
I lived it. It's like what about this? They knew what they were doing. I think the whole thing is.
Do you think that holds you back being so yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. This town is not what it used to be. Like
Boston?
Yeah, it's super. This is a super PC town. So I feel like I'm already canceled.
Yeah.
I was canceled before I got here. Shout out to the people who've been canceled.
Yeah, we were. But did that ever? Did that hurt you out in LA, or were you more like trying to play the game out there?
Well, that's a really good question. Hollywood's a really lecherous, depraved town, and I've dealt with a lot of people out there, and some of the directors, some of the writers are amazing. Like I've worked with some great people, but a lot of times the producers are the sleazy ones, and like I've had it. Like my last thing in LA, when my final straw, I was in this movie. I was super excited it was going to come out. I had the opening lines.
Oh, what's the movie?
Well, we can't mention the movie because I'm going to talk shit.
Oh, okay. So. Yeah, true.
No snitching.
I'm not.
No snitching. Exactly.
No snitching.
No snitching. I break my own rules every single show.
No snitching.
No snitching.
This producer, it was shot, and I was all excited about it. And the producer asked me to go to lunch, asked me to go to dinner. I was like, oh, don't. Because I could tell my intuition was like the carrot, and he still had the power. He could edit me out. And so I felt that. I just felt it. Mm-hmm. So, I'm too nice for LA. I'm like, yeah, okay. Maybe I was playing it too because I was kind of like, sure, yeah, let's get there, let's get drinks. And I kind of never did. And so then I went out, the movie premiere, I was all excited, brought my girlfriends, sat down, just cut out the whole thing.
Damn.
I know, Cole. And I know there was no reason to. It was part of the script. The writer was like, I'm really sorry. And the guy had a sleazy reputation. So these, like, the girls that it is just whack. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and you're not playing the game.
I'm not playing the game. So if, you're not playing the game, get out of
Hollywood. You do that with stand-up too. That's you don't play the game.
Yeah, we're not
I
playing
feel
the
like
game.
there is a game, and
if you subscribe to a certain school of thought, then you'll get booked. And I'm not a sheep.
It's so funny. I try to like walk the line.
Yeah.
I try to get as much as I can out without making too many people upset, because I still have this, I don't know if it's only child thing or what, but I just want to please everyone.
Me too.
I know.
Just nice,
but no,
man.
You don't want to please everyone. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I mean in a good way. Like that's why I mean you're confident, is like,
Thanks.
You don't care if people are going to get mad at what you say because you can back it up.
Yeah, right. I've lived that life.
Exactly. Yeah. You have stories to back it up.
Thanks,
and
man.
Do you think that's your next comedy goal? I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah.
Is to kind of do your observations and then have the stories on stage to back it up.
Yes, like I want to stream it together. And I think, with storytelling, it's more laid back. It's not, maybe it could get me more into my style, my groove. I'm still finessing my style on stage. So I think it's going to transition my style a little bit more laid back, like we were talking. Because when you storytelling, you are laid back.
Exactly.
And there's always truth in it. So I think what I'm trying to do now is just work on the message, and make it spin your old things into positives.
Yeah, you have to have a message. I think I don't want to speak for any comedian, but I enjoy like inappropriate jokes when, in quotation marks, when they have like not like when the person isn't dumb who's saying the joke. Like there has to be a little bit of substance to it. I don't like
I don't know. It's shock value. You don't want the
I like if you can do shock value and be smart with it, I love it. And I don't you can be smart with it in many ways. I think you're smart with it, too.
I think you're a really cerebral comedian. I do. That's why I liked you from the beginning.
I appreciate that. How long, what made you want to, you said you started stand-up in September?
September, yes.
What made you want to get into that?
Well, I think just having control because of having worked in Hollywood and being kind of like, you're a bitch to a man that makes the decisions, and
you were a hoe on your first role.
You were a hoe, but you're always at the mercy of someone's decision or this. And also I wasn't really inspired by the kind of scripts I was getting. Like it was like you're saying these words that you don't even feel or you like, and the story's not. So I thought that maybe I'll try. There are amazing story writers and screenwriters. I'm not saying that about the whole town, but I was just at the point where I was seeing that. So I thought I'd have control over it. And with stand-up, you write your own material. It's your story of your life, and I thought it was just a great answer to having control.
And it's just you. You don't have to.
It's just you. It's not like, and I always get like dumb stripper. I'm always typecast as a hoe.
And that's not who you are.
I don't want to do that.
No, and that's why when I see you on stage, you're very strong. You're very.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
It's so funny because I don't want. You said you think the Me Too movement is whacking. You talk about how you think like feminism. You're not.
Yeah.
But you
it's
are.
Like we have rights. So
but you are. It's so funny. But you are like a feminist in the way that it not should be. I don't want to speak for it. But like you're very strong. You're very forward. You speak your mind, and you also care about the scene, and especially I think.
Of course, I care about the community, and
you stand up for people in the community.
Yes. Yeah. And just trying to support women too. I think that's really important. Not being like I just think that feminism demonizes men, and that's why I have a problem with it. I don't like the way they speak of men. We don't need them. No, we need a man. Like Adam and Eve. Remember the Bible. We need each other.
We're actually getting religious on this podcast.
Men and women aren't the same. They should never be the same. That's why they coincide in the yin and the yang of it. So I think when the feminists say we don't need a man, like no, like I need a dude.
Yeah.
And so that's where it comes from. I don't hate feminists.
Rather you want one.
Yes, exactly. I don't need. Yeah. I don't need a man, but it's just like how we're made. I think that they bring each other's qualities out.
The yin and yang.
It's the yin and yang, man and woman. We're not the same. I don't want to do hard labor. I don't want to fucking drive a backhoe. Like, no, I don't want the same fucking job.
What's your job gonna be when you come back?
I don't know,
you come
dude.
back,
I'm
what do you want to
do?
What do you want to do?
Scared. But I definitely want to. I'm working on a couple things now. I'm kind of doing like a one-woman show and trying to make it. I don't want. There I go. When you talk about it before you actually do it.
Yeah,
but maybe
I do that all the time.
Maybe they'll give me a little bit of kick.
Yeah, now that's on record.
Yeah, now you guys are waiting for it. I'm gonna do like a one-woman show, I think, and maybe not cheesy burlesque, but kind of make it cool because I did that topless show with Ani. Pardon me. Well, I'm high right now.
Jamie.
You're
I'm like
we were
secondhand high right now.
I told you that would happen.
I know. He's like, you might get high. And I was like, no, I'm a beast. Damn. So, pardon me, not with Ani, with Jamie Lee.
We did talk about it a lot, though. What? You and I, the show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably why you thought of me.
Yeah. That's right. Thank you, Ani. So Ani and I were just talking about this show. Jamie Lee put it on. Shout out Jamie Lee. And it was a topless comedy show for BLM. And she was getting a lot of hate on the internet over it. So I was like, fuck that. I don't like to see someone, get made fun of like that. They were roasting her. And I know her heart. Like, she really was about supporting Black Lives Matter. She makes money from OnlyFans naked. So it's a perfect combination.
She only shows her boobs.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm not outing her. I haven't seen it. But yeah, she doesn't make money.
I just want to make sure that she said that on the last podcast she was on here. So I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it. My bad.
You don't subscribe to
again.
You don't subscribe to OnlyFans.
Everybody love everybody.
You're not canceled.
So yeah, that's how she makes money. So I can see where her head's at. She's trying to use what she does. So, but they took it as like just a feminist. That's not that they were like, oh, how could you do this? Showing your body for black people. Like, it's not what we want. Shut the fuck up. The girl's doing what she can to help the movement. So that's why I allied with her. I like Jamie Lee too. And I went topless in the movie, so why not raise money with them?
Exactly.
And
Did you have to hire another lawyer for this?
No, I will though eventually. But I made it more props. Like I did, I made a surgical mask, a bra. So I wasn't topless. So I did my Corona
You played the
bra,
game.
and then I went to Newport pasties that I made. So the costumes I made. So I think I might want to do something. But then I'm like, am I going to be a clown? Does that feel clown? I was like, I got these props. I'm gonna go on stage. You know, there's a fine art. So I'm trying to find the artistic line to kind of do like a performance piece with like things I make, like more outfits, but not be a clown. So, because you know how it can get mad clowny, dude. I've seen
It can. I
some
know.
fucking bozos do that shit.
You have a background in fashion, so that's like
right.
perfect.
So I'm trying to like, fuse my whole life together.
Yeah, you do you feel like you, as you get older, you want to focus more? Mm-hmm. Because you said you were spread thin.
Oh my god, yeah. Back to the to that, you know, like, it was like I was saying, it was like a laser, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if the laser is kind of, you know, drifting, it's not as bright of a light. But if you hone the laser on one thing, it burns a paper, burns
Exactly,
a table.
yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of like where I'm at. I'm doing fashion, hosting, you know, comedy, and then I'm trying to do costume design. So it's like, bitch, pick something, you know. But I love them all so much. I love them all, and so if I could get something to fuse them together, I think that I would feel happy.
Yeah, you just have to get big in comedy and then have your own fashion line.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I want to do. But it's like,
yeah, I know. When do you think you're gonna go back to Mike's?
well, I'm gonna do that show. I'll try to find out what it is to plug it on the 25th, and then I don't know. I'm kind of waiting to see if you guys get sick first. You're the guinea pig. If you're still walking around next week, then I'll go. But let me know how it goes, Sam. I'm still a little hesitant. I don't know.
understand. I try to stay outside as much as I can, and then wear a mask. Don't touch too much stuff.
Yeah.
It's
What about the mic? Like, how do you guys do that?
They all wipe it down.
Oh,
they
they
have
do?
like
Between each-
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at a skew last night, they had like a sanitizer bottle, and they'd spray it down and
Okay.
wipe it in between every comedian.
Okay.
You do as much as you can.
Right. I mean, we can't live
Do
our
it
life
for the
scared,
love
you
of
know?
the game.
Yeah, right. You
Exactly.
charge it to the game.
Dying doing what I love.
Like, did you even do what you love if you didn't die over it?
Exactly. All my artwork will get famous after I die.
Wasn't there that one comedian in the beginning that had it? I remember hearing he was in the scene, and he got it. Pardon me?
Anthony Massa?
Oh yeah, he was like the second. This guy was the first. You're like, no, it was like
It's
super
like,
shocking.
who's the comedian who got it first? Who can get the joke in first?
Oh my god, only the one that gets it
Yeah.
can have the joke.
That's a real problem I'm having with my writing is there's not much to write about that I feel like everyone's not writing about.
Right,
And then
and
when
that's
I
hard.
go into myself, I feel like I dig too deep sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
With
Or
joke
you feel
writing.
like it's because someone did this joke. Now I can't do this thing. You kind of are like-minded people, so those things are going to come up. So do you still
Exactly.
do it, even though someone might have touched on it? Do you?
Early in the scene, I had a joke about repressed memories
Uh-huh.
that was very similar to a Kyle Kinane joke about repressed memories, and I got called out for it.
Well,
And then
that
I
can
stopped
happen.
doing it, and then after that, I felt so bad about getting called out for it that I was like, I don't know, like I didn't even know that I was copying that one. It was like just a similar joke that I try not to do any jokes that are like anyone else.
Which is a shame because you know
know.
we're all on the kind of the same frequency. We pick up on the same stories.
Exactly.
And it can happen so easy.
And then I feel
There's a saying in metal, Black Sabbath wrote all the good riffs already.
That's awesome.
yeah, and it's
Pretty much.
but I
Just
feel
cancel
like
your music career too.
that's why
Everybody's nothing left.
storytelling is
Right,
the
it's-
best thing because it is 100% personal. But you have to be good at it. I feel like I lose the crowd's interest like halfway
No
through
way.
a story.
You wrote plays. I mean, you're a real writer, so I don't see how that could be hard for you.
Yeah, but it's like I can be like, how do you get nervous? You are hosting fucking Maxim. It's like you still get that.
Yeah, I do. I
You were so funny on that. I was watching
Thank
your
you,
clip. I
Sam.
know we keep saying we're gonna play it, but we're not. you can just
Fuck
look.
it. Yeah,
we
just
can just
look it
look it
up.
up
I'll
on
do a
YouTube.
plug.
Casey Durkin on YouTube.
We played a clip. You know where to look for
Yeah.
it.
saw there. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
No, but when you're interviewing, you're very fast and quick on your feet,
Thank
joking.
you.
Was comedy ever something you wanted to do, or was it kind of like you were just funny?
I
off the
always
cuff?
did, but I was way too scared. Like, way too scared. So,
And you had other shit you wanted to do.
yeah, I did. And I was like, no, there's no way. Because I respect the art form so much. I loved it, but I never thought I could really do it. So, but once you do it once, you bomb the first 6. I mean, I'm still bombing too.
I bombed
you do the same stuff, and then you do
on Monday.
But you'll probably do the same stuff and you'll kill. It's
Yes.
there's so many factors in it. So,
Well, you are a real comedian. You won the improv competition at Improv
thank
Boston.
you, Sam. You
Of
knew about
course.
that.
Yes,
That
I
was
did. I do my research. I'm a good host.
Shout out Anthony Massa, who put it on. He's the best.
He can do the Corona joke second.
Yeah, he's gonna have the best Corona jokes. You know it too. He's probably waiting to do them.
He has to wait 2 weeks.
Oh right. Yeah, that was super fun. That was a competition, which is it's almost impossible to have a competition for comedians. They're totally different people. There's different stories, different styles. Like there was a couple of the guys in it, and they were all really great. But comparing us is super hard. There's all these things that go into it.
Exactly.
Factors. The crowd clap. So if the crowd is more of a weed crowd, they're gonna not laugh at my stuff. It's like there's certain people that talk about weed stories that they're not that they relate to.
Yeah, exactly. But you won.
Yeah, I won. It
That's
was super
awesome.
cool.
How long?
I won the trash belt.
The trash belt.
So no one
Do
can
you
ever
have it
say,
hang-
That's
bitch, I am
amazing.
trash. You want to call me trash?
You have it hanging up above your trash
Yes.
can.
I am trash, baby. It was hard because you have to kind of strategically plan your set because you have to get voted in. What am I talking about? What is it?
You have to get the vote, the claps
yeah, the
and
clap
stuff.
off. It's the clap off. So you do your first set, so then you have to kind of plan on being in the finals. Because let's say you blow your wad in the first set, then you come back for the finals, and it's like, oh shit, that was all my good material. So I had to kind of strategically do it. So my offensive stuff was in the end, Because if they like the beginning, I know they're gonna like, the more raw stuff. So
Exactly.
you really got to go in there like understand the crowd too.
When you first started writing, was it more offensive stuff, or did that kind of build as you were growing?
Beginning was like all sex and drugs and
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, baby. I mean, it still is, but now I'm trying to be more conscious about it. I'm smarter now. So I did it maybe in 2014 in LA, and I didn't record anything, but I started it a little bit.
Oh, you did stand up
I
out
did.
there? Oh, that.
But I did. I was with this guy that hated that I got on stage. He's like, just doesn't like his woman talking. So I thought I was gonna marry him, and I kind of quit because I didn't. You can't really write about. What am I gonna write about when you're in love? It's like you're happy.
Exactly.
It's like it really comes from that like sadness. So, have you been in a relationship and done stand up?
Yeah.
Does it work?
Do you want me to start crying right
Yeah,
now?
it doesn't work. You gotta.
No, it works so well. God damn it! I want to go back.
Oh my god!
No, I'm just
it's
kidding.
really hard.
No, I actually really enjoyed it because the person I was with really enjoyed the jokes I would say about us.
Okay. Yeah,
they
my
enjoyed my
ex-boyfriend
sense
too.
of humor. So it worked out for me. So I
Okay.
could say really dark stuff about us on stage, and she would laugh at it.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah,
my
but
ex came to my show and but my jokes were this one thing about him works so much better for broken up because I tried it when we were together and then we broke up and it was better because he used different things and so he was like I'm gonna come to your show and I was like fuck so I had to redo it all to be with him because I didn't want to embarrass him in front of his friends.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that it's
I
super
have
hard.
yeah, that's a problem when going back to doing the jokes pre-quarantine now.
Yeah,
I
same
was
thing,
I
you're
was
right.
broken up with right at the beginning of quarantine.
Okay.
So all my pre-quarantine jokes were about me being in a relationship. So
Right.
now I have to rework the jokes about it not being, and I don't have the same passion for it
Yeah,
anymore.
dude,
So
you're not
that's
mad or
that's why
no.
I'm like no, because I have to almost rewrite all. It's like I lost 70% of my material.
Right,
you
that
know what I mean?
happens.
Yeah.
I can't talk about the stuff I talk about because you'll get a lot of things.
And also, I feel bad about I don't want to not.
Then you don't let me. Then you don't fuck
It
with
seems
me.
like I'm talking shit now if I do the jokes when we're not together. When
Oh, I
before,
see what you mean.
You know what I mean? When we were together, it wasn't talking shit because
Mm-hmm.
we were together. But now that we're broken up, if I do the jokes, it's almost like I'm talking shit about her.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
and I don't want to do that either.
exactly. It's not worth it
It's
to
low
me.
hanging fruit, you know.
Yeah. So, but that's my problem is
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't have that spark yet to get the writing back. And don't you dare say anything about Muse or Stephen Pressfield or any of that shit, because I know.
Everybody love everybody!
But I just need to get that spark back in writing.
You got it, baby. You're going to be good.
Oh, thank you.
When I first saw you, you were amazing. Like I said, you have that really cool style, and I knew you were smart. Like you talk about observational, which I think is the hardest part of comedy, really.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. You said you're working on a jewelry line?
Yeah, it's gold-blooded.
So you studied fashion.
Yes.
Did you was jewelry your focus?
I went to another school for jewelry, so I learned soldering. I'm not that good at it. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
you know,
I did it in high school.
It's men's work.
Yeah.
Like you know, I'm collaborating with another designer that has a facility, like the facility.
Oh, that's
great.
great.
And he does the oven shop. Like it's really dangerous.
Yeah, but
so
you enjoy.
I learned the essentials of it, and gemology. We learned all that stuff. So as far as doing it, like I'm still a little scared of it. So I basically can do a little bit and kind of collab with this guy that can put it in the kiln and all those really dangerous things.
Was fashion something that you were always into? You said you studied it. Was that?
I have a passion for fashion.
You have a passion for fashion.
Okay.
But that was is that your main? Is that your main?
Yeah, I'm always gonna. Yeah, that's what I love it. I mean, I love making clothes. You just need a lot of money to have your line. So I'm just trying to save a little bit, and then you spend it, so you want the money back, and I'm building it. I thought that I could use my comedy money for fashion, but when you don't make comedy money,
yeah, you don't make
no fashion.
You lose comedy money.
I lose comedy money.
I drove up to New Hampshire.
I gotta rewrite that part.
Spent $30 on gas for $20 at a gig.
God, it's such a struggle.
I love it though, and I'm from the Cape. You were just on the Cape.
Yeah.
I live on the Cape, and I drive to Boston when things are open up almost every night. So
yeah, I've seen you hustling. Like you are at every mic.
But you spend so much money on gas and stuff. That's like I'm not making money on comedy. I'm losing all my money. But I love it. I love it, and that's what you got to do. You got to spend money to make money.
You got to right, which I've done so many times. Like okay, well the making money part hasn't happened.
Exactly. Do you? Looking back, do you wish you had just focused on fashion more, or
Of course. I mean, I have friends that have bought houses. Like my dad's a realtor, and he's always kind of fucking with me about it. He's like, sold another one of your classmates at home today, and they have babies. Her husband and her, she has a job at. My dad's dream is for me to work at TJX. It's like this.
I thought you were going to say TJ Maxx.
No, it's like
you can work at TJ Maxx whenever.
Yeah, right. No, TJX is like he sells a lot of people homes that work for TJX because they this crazy salary, but it's for me it's like where fashion goes to die. It's like to be a fashion designer and work there, and he's like he has a plug there for me to work. And he's like, can't wait for you to start that. It's like no, I would die. I just don't. I mean, I've worked for fashion companies and I've done the 9 to 5, and I just hate it so much. I just want my own thing.
You want your own thing?
Yeah.
And
I'll probably have to go back to it, if the end of COVID.
Work at TJ Maxx.
No, I can't. Just the idea of it's just.
You don't want to be a Maxinista.
So it's like the ultimate if you work for the corporate.
A passion for Maxim.
Yes.
I can. They can.
No, but it's like my dad always tells me when he sells one of my friends a house. So to answer your question, I do wish I went the 401k. I could have done that, and I could still do that, but maybe more on a freelance level.
Would you have been dead inside?
I would have been dead inside.
Do you want to be? Don't you want to be a little bit free?
I do, but I also like the structure, especially now. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm scared.
Yeah. Do you? But see, you're finding this spirituality.
Thanks.
Going back to it being a spirituality podcast, and the things you are going into, you can use your past.
Exactly.
This is a self-help podcast.
Yeah,
so you don't want to look
using everything. That's right.
You can use your past for the future and your storytelling and stuff. It is tough to write stories as stand-up, to sit down and write a story out with jokes. It's kind of I don't know. I get very it's hard to write stories out for me.
Definitely, because you're exposing yourself. I mean,
yeah. Do you try to make a schedule for yourself of writing or no?
I mean, I listened to this other podcast not too long ago. It was a Danny Diablo podcast.
Don't talk about other podcasts on
my
podcast.
It's totally different.
I'm just kidding.
My friend Don was on it, and I wanted to listen, and they taught. One of them said something so interesting. he's the guy's in a band, and one of the guys on the show was in a band, and he said, inspirations for pussies. You get down and you write. You can't wait for inspirations for pussies. You can't wait for it to come. You got to get down and you got to write. That's how he gets to his lyrics. That's how he works on songs for a label under a deadline. You got to get down. You got to write. So after I heard that kind of advice, because I'm always waiting for the inspo. And
if you're waiting for inspo,
no,
we have a book for you.
What's the book, Sam?
It's called The War of Art by Stephen
Pressfield.
Pressfield.
Someone just recommended that to me.
Oh,
someone
really?
just recommended it to me. Yeah,
No,
I've heard amazing things. There's that and The Artist's Way, which I love, which sounds kind of...
No, but The War of Art, it really, it changed my mindset of just
serious?
getting down and, you don't wait. It's about you don't wait. The muse doesn't come to you. You have to sit down and wait, and the muse will,
Ooh.
That's a bad way to put it.
That is a bad way to put it.
Let me say, no, you the muse won't be there when you sit down to write. You're not just going to write your best stuff. You have to sit there and wait until the muse finally comes. Is that a better way to put it?
You just said the same thing twice.
Well, why don't you explain it? I'm sorry.
Everybody love everybody.
Jesus.
I think
I'm on my knees.
The best way that I can put it is if you're he starts off with a list of the top 10 things that are the most resistance, and if you find yourself in that category, that book is for you. That's the best way that I can describe it. It just it will just help you break through any creative wall block.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
it was
really
Jess
good.
recommended me too. Yeah, now
I did a horrible job. I'm
You're
really
not
bad
gonna be a
at
literary
I
agent
know.
anytime
I'm
sorry. You're not gonna be an agent.
I had a dream the other day where I was like, I want to write a book one day.
Yeah, I think you should. If you wrote in screenplays, that's probably easier to write a book than a screenplay.
Do you do any non-comedy writing?
I have. I've done a couple articles. I want to get back into doing.
Do you journal at all?
I don't, because I'm too afraid my mom is gonna find it. I'm living it with my mom right now. I'm I don't want her to see them. So I'm I'll just stay in my head.
On a laptop's good.
That even that scares me that it's gonna be on. I feel like it's gonna.
I
be
have one of
hacked.
those fingerprint MacBooks that
oh,
you have to have
so it's security, yeah. But I definitely want to get more into writing an op-ed or something like that. I'm working on something. I did one about leaving LA and my experience with Me Too.
You wrote a book?
No, I wrote an op-ed, but I haven't. I didn't submit it to I just kind of stopped doing it because all the other girls came out. I just thought it was overdone, the Me Too thing, and so it was kind of my perspective of LA and how I think, but in a not kind of cool with all these girls that knew what they were doing. Yeah, maybe I should release it. I just
you should. How long have you worked on it for?
Yeah, I worked on it. It was the beginning of the Me Too thing, but there's so much. It's just kind of maybe Ani said that this book, you have so much. You just okay, let me pick something.
This is a self-help podcast, so I'll spit some more self-help at you this time.
I need help, Sam. Please help me.
No, it's something I realized about this podcast, and trust me, everyone listening, I know it's not good. I'm just kidding. No, but it's it doesn't.
Everybody.
You have to try your hardest, but that's going to be whatever that is, and you just have to release it. If you don't release it, then it's never going to be released. So,
exactly.
You just have to start. I had always wanted to start the podcast.
And you did it. Look at you now.
And I got some great help.
Shout out Ani and Irish. And that's exactly are you a perfectionist? Because I am to my detriment.
I'm a perfectionist. Well, I had a clip with Lloyd get a good amount of views, and it was trending. Shout out to Lloyd. Shout out Lloyd Legacy Sharp.
He's so great.
And it was trending on Reddit, and one of the comments was these podcasters fucking suck. And it got 120 upvotes.
No, it didn't.
Yeah,
I would crawl into a hole and die.
But I honestly, it didn't affect me. I'm talking about it.
It's your third show,
so you
fuck
know,
them.
so you know it's affecting me. But no, but it's honestly if I didn't release it, then I wouldn't have gotten the views. I don't care about the hate.
Oh my God, that's such a good way to stream it into. If you never up, never in.
It doesn't really mess. So it's like the op-ed piece. If you just release it, it's who cares?
Right.
Because if you never release it, then you're always gonna.
I kind of not knowing. Oh, I could have been this, or I could have been.
Well, it's a lot
I think not knowing rather than going through the hardship of knowing. Maybe I'll just do it one day.
I give a lot of hate to old people, but I do think they have a lot to teach.
Yeah.
And something that most old people say right before they die is that like they wish they had done like more things and had more experiences and done things that resistance held them back from doing. And
I'm gonna be like, I wish I didn't do all this stuff.
But
I really wish I didn't go out that night.
But that's kind of how I try to live my life is like the minute before I die, would I be happy with like what I do?
And what would that be?
When will I die? No, but like I'm happy that I started a podcast. I'm happy I put so much time into comedy.
Yep.
And I feel like if I keep putting more work in, if the more work you put in, the more it comes back exponentially. And I think that in itself will make me happy if I just keep doing what I want to do, not kind of fall into the fold.
Exactly, and don't read the blogs. Don't read.
Don't read the comments. Don't read the comments.
Don't ever do that.
I'm gonna add that to the last rule on Bucked Up is don't read the comments.
Yeah, do not. You will spiral. So yeah, my mom was always like, you gotta stop cooking the soup. It's time to serve it. Because my whole life I've been like, no, it's not perfect yet. And so it's something I definitely struggle with. So hopefully that book will open me up a little bit.
Well, do you want to plug your Instagram or your website?
I am at Durkin. LURKIN DURKIN, and then Twitter I am DurkyPerk30, DURKY PERC as in Percocet 30. Holler.
Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much, Sam. That was super fun, man. Thank you.
I don't know what to do. There we go. We're holding hands.
Shout out Annie and Iris.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out Kingz.